I wanted to take a moment to help you find some reliable sources for your definition and causal arguments. So if you'll log into Blackboard and click over here where it says Web Resources, that'll begin our task of finding those reliable sources. So hopefully you've been using the web resources throughout the semester. The top three are specifically to help with grammar. Grammar Bites and Grammar Slammer are kind of cutesy sites just to practice some grammar. And then the OWL Online Writing Lab at Purdue gives a whole host of topics dealing with writing that could be helpful to you. So if you get stuck, it's a good bet that OWL has the answer. We also have Google Scholar and EasyBib. Google Scholar is another great place to find reliable sources. And then EasyBib allows you to build citations for your Works Cited page and then simply copy and paste those over. So any tool that I can give you to help make things a little bit easier, I like to go ahead and do that. So today we're going to look at OCTC's library homepage. I've provided a link inside of Web Resources to that resource for you. So when you get in here, you'll see that over on the left-hand side, the first link is Find Articles and Other Resources. So these are things that are going to be available to you online. You're not going to have to come to the library to access them. Also, electronic books are available online, so you do not have to physically come to the library to access these books. Films on demand may also be helpful, as would Ask a Librarian, and then help with research. So there's quite a bit of information here that'll help you when you start having to write more sophisticated papers that use secondary research to help support the ideas that you want to get across to your reader. So we're just going to kind of start simple, and we're going to click up here on Find Articles and Other Resources. So again, as you can see, there are lots of databases in here for us. Today we're just going to kind of look up here at the Find Articles section. So a good place to look if you're not sure what you want to write about would be Gale Opposing Viewpoints in Context. So if you'll click on that, it'll take you into this database, and there's lots of main topics and then there's subtopics underneath each one of those. So if you look around and you think, oh, I'm really interested in what's going on with racism and riots in the U.S., society and culture, yeah, that's what I like and that's what I want to write about, then you can click on View All. And lots of different topics are going to come up, not just the 3 or 4 that were listed on the home page. So let's say that maybe we want to look at civil rights, so we'll click on that. And it'll bring up lots of specific articles for us about civil rights and all the nuances of civil rights. And then it also gives us some images and some videos. So quite a bit of different types of sources for us, websites, magazines. And the beauty of this is it's restricted. So if you were to go to Google and type in civil rights, you're going to get millions of hits, and many of those hits are not going to be reliable academic resources. They're going to be solely personal opinion and not things that you need to use in an academic paper. So I wanted to click on one of these to show you something else that could be helpful. A lot of the articles are also, you can listen to them, which is wonderful. If you're doing something else, it gives you an ability to do 2 things at once if you can focus. You can also print, download, or email these things to you. The best thing, I think, is that you can actually go ahead and get a citation for it. So we'll be using MLA, the 7th edition. So you would simply copy and paste this citation onto the Works Cited page of your paper if you chose to use this article. So again, it works to help make your life a little bit easier. and you can even export it to EasyBib, which is the citation creator that I have selected for you. So this is a good place to come just if you're not quite sure what you want to write about, and it also provides lots of sources when you do make a selection. The other main tool I think will be helpful to you will be EBSCOhost. So if you'll click on that, and then again, there are about 25 smaller databases inside of EBSCO, and I would just go ahead and continue with all of them selected, and then you can narrow back out if you need to. So, but let's say I'm interested in organic farming. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in here. It's good to note that two things. One, that in EBSCO it will not correct your spelling. So if you don't get any hits back from your search terms, it's always possible you've misspelled something. I do that sometimes, and so check that first. The other thing is maybe your search criteria are too narrow. So broaden back out. Start simple. Like I didn't put, benefits of organic farming, or I didn't put, difficulties or pros and cons. I just simply did organic farming. And so already the research, the EBSCOhost is trying to help me narrow that down. So maybe I specifically want to look at organic farming in the United States, because if I simply put in something like organic farming, it's going to pull information from all around the globe. But I'm specifically interested in what's happening in the U.S. So I'm going to kind of narrow it there to begin with. So again, you'll get a nice list of different types of sources, some academic journals, some newspaper sources, some periodicals, even a video. But what you want to know, again, is these things have already been narrowed down and selected. It doesn't mean that everything in here is wonderful and awesome, but it does mean there's going to be a lot more quality information and a lot of information that's not as questionable. So here we have a newspaper source that's listed in HTML, and here we have an academic journal in PDF full text. So if you click on the full text, there are a couple of reasons a full text PDF file works a little bit better if you're using MLA. And one of those is simply because you're going to have a page number. And you know that when you cite your information in the text of the paper using MLA, you provide the author's last name as well as the page number where the quote, the summary, or the paraphrase is from. So I would encourage you to pick the PDFs if you can. Of course, if you need a newspaper article, almost all of those will be HTML. Again, over here on the side, you have options on how you want to collect this information, but I want to show you once again that the citation is available to you. If you will click on the citation button, and then if you will scroll down, you'll see that MLA is toward the bottom, and again, it's as simple as copying and pasting over to the Works Cited page. So again, using the databases may not be what your habit is, but it needs to become your habit as a college student. I mean, if you just want to find out the best restaurant in Louisville, well, you're certainly not going to go to the databases for that. But if you're looking for an academic source over civil rights, or academic source over organic farming, or legalization of marijuana, or the race riots, then this is where you need to come. And it not just for 101 or 102 English classes. You would use these databases for your history classes, your accounting classes, your education classes, whenever you're required to write a paper. Come here first. And then if you can't find the information you need, you can start backing out and using more generalized search engines on the web. And let me just say, I don't say this or encourage this because I don't think there are high quality sources available online. I do. There are many, many wonderful places to go on the internet to find high quality information, but generally the citation's not going to be available for you, and you're going to have to do a lot more digging to get to the good stuff if you do a general search online versus doing a general search in a database. So again, as always, call me, text me, come see me. If you have a question about a source, send me a link. I'll happily review it for you and let you know if I think it's appropriate. I'll do anything I can to help you be successful and choose good, high-quality sources that help advance your papers.